What's good, YouTube? And I hope you have a happy Halloween. It's my wife's favorite time of the year. We're gonna watch Zombie Island, Witches, Ghosts, and The Conjuring tonight, most likely. And we've watched a scary show or movie almost every single night this month. She has. I took 2 days break. I just couldn't keep up this year. That being said, the scariest part of the market is that it never sleeps. The Dogmatica structure deck has so many price spikes and buyouts in it. We have the Fallen and Virtuous up towards $150 for its Starlight, and its regular version, 15 listings at $750. Fusion Deployment Alter Art also bought out. I remember when this art had the entire community freaking out, so it does make sense that people would make a push for it at some point, but seeing it above Triple Tactics Thrust just feels a little bit wrong to me. And then the Dragon that devours the Dogma, the Starlight hasn't gone crazy, but the regular version is getting bought out right now, as we also see Fusion Deployment, Triple Tactics Thrust, and Fallen all have solid value, to the point where I'm saying, for the first time in a long time, I would buy the sealed to keep the sealed. There are risks with that. They could reprint another unlimited version of the structure deck like they did the Blue Eyes deck if they thought it was going to be mega popular. However, versus the MSRP right now, these displays are around $16.50 per deck, and that's pretty good versus the $750 here, $550 here. We're already at $13. Oh, these 2 cards and we're over? Oh, here's another $2. Oh, here's another $2. And then all of these staples and good cards. It just makes sense to me that you should probably be buying these displays versus what they're being offered at. And then there's the chase chances on top of it. Now, at MSRP, it gets a lot closer to that kind of stuff. But while there are deals on these, I kind of like it. And when it comes down to the chase chances, they're all relatively sizable, except, you know, Fleur-de-Lis is around 30 right now. Same with Ecclesia, around 25. They're not the most in the world, but I imagine people that collect max rarity branded will eventually get around to wanting at least one for their collection too. Let me know what you think about this structure deck, though. I think I got really starry-eyed for the 5D structure deck, and I slept on this one just a bit too much. I think it's really, really good. It's got collectability, it's got playability, it has casual appeal, but it also is for a specific person, a fan of branded or a player that needs these reprints. And with those 2 things in mind, I think that it still can do very good long-term, as long as either Alter Arts don't get reprinted too fast, which we've seen Konami do before, but they do seem more kind of getting minded around the collector and making those overrushes, like, come on over, whatever they're called, over breaks for us. I just want to say full arts, but I keep getting corrected on that one. 2 things real quick on this video. I've already done like 6 takes. There's a fly going around me, and I also have really bad allergies. So if there's live editing done cheap, we're gonna do it on this take. We do it live. Chaos Star Source is towards $3 for its OTS Super. The commons, still really easily accessible, but this is for branded Draco Tail, I'm being told, and it really seems like people want to hollow it out to where it's almost $5 for that super rare right now, and the sales are around that range at the moment. So if you open a bunch of OTS 28, you might want to be digging those out if you're not using them. We already covered No Punk Rising Scale. This has been going up for Genesys, but something I find super interesting is how reluctant people are to go for high rarity, and we had this discussion at the start of Genesys with the point updates, how people might be kind of scared to go for cards for it, and people just want the easy access. I just want to play the format version. Look at this. It is barely starting to trail back up. It's around 46 versus market price 44, despite all of the demand that has been happening for its ultra rare. And it also shows through another Punk buyout that's happened, Punk Jam Fever. This has gone up triple for its ultra rare version, towards $5 to $6. But its Starlight rare, it's barely moved up, not even an entire dollar. So while it does have some sales rates, people are getting this version here and there. It's not like it's causing it to just drive off when you can get an entire playset for the Starlight, and people are like, I'm a big Genesys fan, but they could be hitting this engine around the corner. Fiendish Rhino Warrior Super Rare, however, has people in their nostalgia feels between Genesys as well as main. I'm hearing Fiendsmith Unchained is a little something with this, but that it's more likely for Genesys and Goblin Bikers and people playing that kind of deck. It's all the way up towards 8 to 9, and when you have that mix of Copium, I can play it in both formats, people end up going a little bit harder on it. Now, Fire King could have a little bit of that going for it, but I would assume it's Genesys, but I haven't looked at the points. I probably should have before this video. Let me know if you know the reason for these going up courtier towards 60 and quickly 69. Not so nice, but this is a very nice price spike, and I'll say why. You're supporting a card going up. What the heck is this, John? No, this is actually something I really wanted to see return to the market. People going for a card naturally. Fire King High Avatar Garunex has climbed slowly. Even this is the 3-month graph, and it's consistently gone up. However, when it comes down to it, look at the sales rates. 1 to 2 a day. Some days there were more. 1 to 2 a day. 1 to 2 a day. It just continues on that trend till it's finally on low copies. People wanting to grab something for themselves. Not out of FOMO, but because it was around. And it eventually pressing up. That's a healthy Yu-Gi-Oh! Market, and that's the kind of spike in price that I like to see more often, but we haven't been able to cover maybe a couple of times this year. So it finally returning to that because of Genesys is crazy, and I swatted at the fly just there. Marshmallow Yummy shows the problem of during our current core sets without our new full arts. It shows that it is the problem that you can't just put archetype lock cards like this or the Malice towards the top. It ends up, even though it's more than the booster box still right now, falling on out. Once people get the deck, the majority that would be playing the deck, more people aren't going to pick it up unless it's cheap enough to, and there it starts falling even further and faster. And that's a lot of the cards inside of this set, it feels like. I did call out Mouser before, which is interesting because it's not like it's spiked in price, but those quantities are very low right now. Shadol didn't have a huge spike with the Shadol support announcement. It already spiked before when the first card leaked, but it's interesting to kind of watch. The only thing going lower in quantity right now is mostly Shekanaga for the most part. And we do see that Shadol Shizm's QCR is also a little up in price. Infernoid's, live editing done cheap, is also going up here. It is towards $24 to $25 for its quarter century secret rare. And then Infernoid Evil is also up. Both of these, I believe, are Battles of Legend versions of quarter century secret rare, so a lot harder to pull than most, and it makes sense that they can be disappeared easier, faster, spike up in price faster. But if you just want Infernoid Evil, you might want to do that sooner than later, as they also have new support on the horizon that even mixes in with the Shadol cards. So yeah, I would think about getting the versions of those kinds of cards that you want. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch and dealing with everything going around. The fly was on the camera at one point and zoomed in front of my face 3 times, and my nose is definitely going. So I'm gonna let you go. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you back here in November.